our grandmother. But apparently this kid down in Palm Beach decided to stab his grandmother on Mother's Day 11 times because he didn't want to help bring in the groceries.
Damn, he's going to hell, first of all, and he's going to jail.
Stabbing on Mother's Day leaves an elderly woman fighting for her life. West Palm Beach police say the victim was stabbed multiple times by her grandson. Keo Nottage is in the Palm Beach County Jail facing charges of attempted murder.
Our Rachel Perry has an update on the victim's condition.
As of this afternoon, officials say the victim is still in the ICU.
On Mother's Day? Are they sure? Is he trolling, or is it really about the groceries?
After she was stabbed a total of 11 times.
Rescue 3 is going to have a trauma alert coming by ground reference to a stabbing.
Emergency responders Sunday transporting an elderly woman to the hospital following a stabbing at a home here on 52nd Street.
There's about 7 stab wounds in the torso, in the left shoulder and arm.
Police say they soon learned the victim was stabbed 11 times, identifying her grandson, Keo Nottage, as the suspect. Nottage was booked in the Palm Beach County Jail.
What are my charges? Weapons. Attempted first-degree murder with a deadly weapon and aggravated assault without intent to kill.
In court Monday, deputies removed him from the courtroom following several interruptions.
That was on file. That's my items are one missing.
You can
Okay, thank you.
Nottage is being held without bond pending an Arthur hearing. We'll continue updating you as soon as we learn more about the victim's condition.
Stabbed their grandmother. Officers arrived locating the cousins fighting each other in the driveway.
11 times is crazy. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a lot. And he did double that. +1.
Detaining both of them, 74-year-old Mary Sigler sat in her rocking chair under the carport bleeding. As an ambulance was on the way, she briefly told officers she went to the grocery store with her grandson, Christian. Returning home, Christian and Keo got into an argument when Christian asked him to help bring in groceries. Miss Sigler then told officers Keo became increasingly agitated and said someone is going to die today. That's when he walked into the kitchen, grabbed a knife, and stabbed his grandmother. Her grandson Christian tried to help her, but Keo started swinging the knife at him. Keo then grabbed the car keys and attempted to steal his grandmother's car. Miss Sigler would be transported to the hospital where she underwent emergency surgery and was listed in critical condition. Officers would speak with her grandson, 16-year-old Christian, who stated he went with his grandmother to buy groceries for Mother's Day dinner. When they got home, he asked his cousin Keo, who was laying on the couch, to help bring in the groceries. Christian told officers he became upset with Keo because he felt he was the only person helping their 74-year-old grandmother, and he's only 16, while Keo is 29 years old, still living in their grandmother's house. As they began arguing, Christian walked outside to call a family friend to help de-escalate the situation, but while he was outside on the phone, he heard his grandmother scream for help. Walking back inside, he saw Keo holding a knife and his grandmother on the floor. Christian ran, fearing for his life, as he jumped a fence and called 911. While on the phone with police, he saw Keo getting into his grandmother's SUV, so thinking quickly, Christian ran and closed the gate, preventing him from leaving. When Keo realized the gate was closed, he got out of the vehicle, confronting Christian, and they began fighting as officers arrived on scene. Keo suffered an injury to his hand, would be treated at the same hospital as his grandmother before being medically cleared and transported to the police department for an interview. He'd tell officers he understood his rights, told them his ID could be found inside his wallet in the house, and mentioned blood was involved in the incident, but stated that he would not provide any further details. But the police really didn't need him to say anything because the grandmother gave a statement, the younger cousin gave a statement, and the house had 2 surveillance cameras. Christian could be seen on video running out of the house screaming, "You stabbed my fucking grandma." Keo could then be seen coming out of the house with a knife in his hand saying, "Do you want to fade? What the fuck are you gonna do?" During Miss Sigler's hospital examination, staff reported she was stabbed a total of 11 times, still remaining in critical condition. And at the time of this video being recorded, she's still listed in critical, and nobody knows if she's gonna actually survive this attack. Police would conclude Keogh committed attempted murder with a deadly weapon when he stated someone is going to die today, retrieved a knife, stabbed his grandmother 11 times, and chased his cousin while making threats. Charged with attempted murder and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, Keogh now faces life in Florida State Prison. And what's crazy is he already should have been in Florida State Prison. Back in 2021, Miss Sigler told police she tried to get the TV remote from Keogh so Christian could watch it, but he refused, taking the batteries out and throwing them in the trash. She grabbed the remote from Keogh, who grabbed her by the shoulders and shook her before grabbing a knife and holding it to her. She then ran with Christian outside. Miss Sigler advised police Keogh never threatened them with the knife, even going as far as saying he was diagnosed bipolar and schizophrenic, and that he'd been Baker
This motherfucker been crazy. See, this mother been crazy. Damn, Granny, what the fuck?
Acted before and held in a mental facility. And to be brutally honest, it sounds like she only called police to de-escalate the situation, but she didn't actually want
her grandson to
get Keogh in trouble, so she defended him. He picked up a knife, but he didn't threaten us with it. He has some mental issues.
That sound like some like that episode of the Boondocks with the badass kid. Bro, she steady trying to defend his badass. That shit bad, man. I hope she pulled through.
Issues, diagnosed with this and that, and he's been Baker acted before, he's caused trouble, but I don't want anything too serious to happen to him. And it's sad because she didn't know, she wasn't able to predict that this situation would replay 5 years later and almost take her life. Although Miss Sigler had no marks on her body, Keogh was still charged with battery on a person 65 years or older, but the case would later be dropped due to the fact that no one really cooperated against him. Had she expressed she felt threatened with that knife or explained it differently, he could have been charged with assault with a deadly weapon and been put away. But she wanted to save her grandson, not knowing years later the same situation would play out. Now, this is a tough case. This kid's 29 years old. His legal guardian is his 74-year-old grandmother. And if we're breaking the case down, he sounds like a lazy fuck. Because in both situations, he's sitting on a couch watching TV. In 2021, mind you, Christian's 16 in 2026. In 2021, how old is he? He wanted to watch TV. Keogh didn't want to let him watch TV. So he pulls out the batteries and throws them in the trash.
Hey, dudes, bro. I don't even know who the fuck do that shit.
He sounds like a spoiled, lazy fucking brat. And again, threatened his grandmother with violence back then. In this situation, Christian is kind enough to go with his grandmother, as he should, to go get groceries for her Mother's Day dinner. And this lazy fuck, who didn't want to help with the groceries,
hey, Jake be snapping, bro, as he should, though.
Gets mad enough and snaps that he grabs a knife, stabs her 11 times, chases his other little cousin around the house, threatens him. In my opinion, we have to break down, is this kid really mentally fried, or was he just diagnosed with something so that the family could live off the money that he gets? Because if we're keeping it honest, that's something that happens in the hood all the time. If you don't believe me, even Finesse 2 times and then came out and said that, his mama had him going to therapy so they could diagnose him so she could get a check and live off of his fake retardedness. You know what I mean? He's comfortable being 29, living at his grandma's house where he gets to watch TV all day and act like a little bitch. But for the crime committed, the fact that, when he wants to watch TV and he'll take the fucking batteries out and throw them away, and he wants to be lazy and do this and that, I'm not going for the whole, oh, he's you know, he's special. He's a
Nah, he might be a little slow, but nah, he's slow for sure. I think he's slow, but you know what I'm saying? Slow motherfuckers know what they doing, so they just gotta go with the regular motherfuckers. Cause I mean, shit, motherfuckers that's in regular jail, I don't think all of them got it all. You know what I'm saying? So
special case. No,
he'll fit right
he's
in.
a privileged little bitch that gets his way because there's nobody to fucking put him in check. A 74-year-old woman cannot control a 29-year-old man, especially a 29-year-old man with mental health issues. So if it was really an issue, somebody else should have taken over that situation. Now this happened, she might die. We don't even know yet. And this 16-year-old is gonna have to either live with another family member or go live with the state. Because at 16, he can't live by himself. And that woman is also his legal guardian. So this is a tragic case for everyone involved. Now, for me, if I got selected as a juror and they're like, yo, this is what happened with this kid. He had a previous case, but the grandmother really just saved his ass and didn't want to get him in trouble. What do you think should happen? Yeah, send him to prison. Attempted murder, he stabbed her 11 times. He doesn't do shit with his life. He lays on the fucking couch all day. We don't need him out here. Give him a bunk. Let him go in there. He likes stabbing people. Prison's the place to be. Let's see how tough he is when it's not a 74-year-old and a 16-year-old. Let's see how tough he is when he gets around the real killers in Florida State Prison that love doing this shit. They live for this shit, but they don't do it to victimize older people and younger people. They play for blood. They like the sport. They want to go at it with people who's just as tough as them. So let's see if Keo is actually that tough. Put him in prison and see how he does. Where people are really mentally fried. Where people really shouldn't be in society. Because the people out here that play crazy, that shit gets pulled the second they go in there. I've seen people come into prison dorms and eat fucking grass because they want to show that, oh yeah, I'm not all the way there. Don't mess with me. Motherfuckers don't care about none of that. They don't care about none of that. You can eat grass, you can not bathe, whatever. But let you get in that canteen line and take some money out. You come back to the dorm with some soups and chips, somebody's gonna run down on that ass. We don't care about all that playing crazy shit. They're gonna pull that knife on you. They're gonna take your shit. You're gonna look crazy then. That's the reality of the situation. That's how I view it.
Hey, 1090 J gonna give it to you raw. No Diddy.